Good morning. It is October 8th, 2024. Welcome to Vlogtober. I am going to try to do a little bit better today, recording and keeping up with what I'm doing. My plan first thing after seeing about the dog is to water my plants outside. We've got cooler temperatures coming, not quite a frost, but cooler temperatures. So I'm going to water them really good this morning and then take some cuttings of some of the plants that I'm going to try to root for next year, and I want to get that done before it gets cooler. I think we've probably got a little while longer before an actual frost, but it sometimes sneaks up on us because what happens is we'll get a prediction of maybe 38 to 40 degrees on our weather apps, and it tends to be cooler where we live. We're down out that window there, that way, is the Edisto River. And we're just in a low spot, and so it tends to get colder here than surrounding area, even just a couple of miles away. So that's why I want to go ahead and do that this week while I don't think we're anywhere close to a frost. Certain plants just are done when we have the first frost. Basil's one of them. Our fig tree, the slightest hint of frost and those things are done. I'm not taking cuttings of those, but I do have some other stuff that I want to do. And what else? Oh, I'm going to walk the dogs. I also need to call our exterminator. I don't think I mentioned this yesterday, but when I got Lacey up, it was still kind of dark. I was taking her this way around to our mudroom, and I flipped on a light, and there was a mouse on the floor in our mudroom. We haven't had a mouse in the house in probably 10 years, maybe more, as far as I have been aware. So possibly we didn't, just because there was a cat in the house. So if they started to come in, the cat would keep them from making a home in here. This mouse was not quite dead, was only mostly dead. But I put a trash can over it, and my husband slid something under it and took it and tossed it in the woods. It just wasn't moving, really. You could tell that it was alive, but it wasn't moving. So I'm not sure what happened. It was inside, so it wasn't the cat. The cat lives on the porch. If the mouse had run off, I probably would have let the cat in because I really don't want mice in the house. So anyway, I'm going to call our exterminating company. I called yesterday, but there was no answer. My husband said it's possible their power's still out. So I'll try again today. If it looks like it's going to be a problem, then I may let the cat in some. Sometimes just having a cat, like the smell of a cat, helps to keep mice out of the house. And probably having her just around the house keeps mice and snakes away. So that's on my list. Water the plants, get the cuttings, walk the dogs, and call Enlow Pest Control. All right, y'all. I will check back in with you later once I have done some of my stuff. So I hope you've had a good day. It is the evening of October 8th. I am on my porch. I thought it was going to be better over here on the table, but it might actually be wobblier. We'll see. I got done the mostly done the three basic things on my list. If I can remember what they were. I got the exterminator out.
because we had a mouse in the mudroom. So the exterminator actually was in the area, so he was able to come this afternoon. What was the other thing? I walked the dog and, oh, took cuttings from my plants. I got that done as well. I watered the plants, and then I went out a little later and took cuttings from the coleuses, whatever the plural is. And I've got those in jars of water in my windowsill. So hopefully they will root. I did this last year with some of them, and they rooted over the winter. I eventually put them in some dirt and then planted them in pots outside this year, and they were huge. So hopefully that will be the same this year, and it would maybe save us from buying more next year. Y'all, the mosquitoes are atrocious right now. They were really bad yesterday when I was walking Lacey earlier today. They were really bad. I looked down at her at one point, and we'd only been out for a few minutes. She had 3 of them on her leg. It's really bad. And in quick succession this morning when I was walking her, I killed 3 of them on me. So yeah, mosquitoes are really bad. I'm hoping that the cooler temperatures later this week will help. We're looking toward the end of the week at lows in the 40s. Do you see her over here? Lows in the 40s later this week, highs in the 70s to maybe, I think, in another 10 days or so, if the forecast holds, we may be looking at highs in the 60s. I'll tell you, when it cools off here, it often is a quick drop. It doesn't feel like it's all that gradual. So I'm looking forward to that. I think it's going to feel good. Okay, I am wearing my Hard Rock, I don't know if you can see it, Hard Rock Buenos Aires shirt. I bought the shirt in Buenos Aires, but did not go to the Hard Rock Cafe. But I figure it's even because I went to the Hard Rock Cafe in Iceland, but didn't get a t-shirt. So, am I excused? All right. Well, one of the things I've wanted to talk about are spooky books. So if you have any good spooky book recommendations, hit me up. I don't like gore and violence and that kind of thing, more, Agatha Christie murder, that kind of thing. So I'm okay with spooky, but I don't like gross gore. So if you've got a recommendation, let me know. I will say I will give you an anti-recommendation. I think it may have been free. If it wasn't free, it was like 99 cents or something on Chirp. I don't know if you're familiar with Chirp. Similar to Audible, it's audiobooks, but they run a lot of really good deals on there. So if a book that you like is on sale, it might be just a couple of dollars, and it works really well. I've actually been really pleased with it. So if you haven't checked out Chirp, I like it. You don't have to have a subscription. Well, you don't have to have a subscription for Audible either. I never have. But anyway, on Chirp, it was called Ghostly Grounds, and it's like a bed and breakfast mystery series. And I got the first one, like I said, at a free or a discount. It was a pleasant enough thing to listen to. Like, it wasn't upsetting, and it was the narrator did a good job. The reader did a really good job reading, I think. But this story was just not great. And here's my question for you. Okay, well, I'll give you the premise of it. It sounded really promising. It's this woman, she's about to turn 40. She breaks up with her boyfriend. She quits her job. And about the same time, she inherits an old house on the coast of Maine, I think, that belonged to her aunt. And she had always dreamed of having a bed and breakfast. She had worked as a dog groomer previously. But she had always wanted to have a bed and breakfast, and she would play innkeeper, that kind of thing as a kid. So when she inherits this house, she says, you know what, I'm going to turn it into a bed and breakfast. So she does this. There's no mention of things like bringing it up to code or getting licenses. It just skips over all of that. But okay, that's not what the book's about. But then there's sort of vaguely this sense that it might be haunted. Doesn't really go anywhere very much with that. But then this guy comes in and he catches video of something and posts it online, and so people start coming in. And then there's a murder that she sort of kind of solves with the police, but not really. It does get solved, I will say that. I actually had to go back and listen to the motive. It slipped right past me. So, mosquitoes, y'all. But yeah, it was just sort of, that was an owl. I don't know if you could hear it. But it just, so here's the thing. Here's my question for you. If you like a book and you write a review, I think you can feel really good about that. You are saying nice things about the book and about potentially about the author. And so if you want to write a review, awesome. What if you didn't like it? How do you feel about writing a review? Because it really is just my opinion. I think a lot of people really liked it. Another mosquito. Not everybody liked it, but some people did. And most of even the negative reviews, for the most part, weren't super harsh. It was just, yeah, just, meh. So what's your opinion about writing a negative review? If this were a really big, multi-million-dollar author, bookseller, then I wouldn't think that much of it. But this is not an author I had heard of before. It's not the only thing she's written, but she's not particularly well known, I don't think. And so you don't want to say something mean about somebody who's done something that I haven't done, which is to get a book out there and gone to the trouble of writing it. And so anyway, what do you think? Do you write a negative review? I don't want to be mean because it's not awful. I wasn't offended by it. I just didn't think it was all that great. So yeah, what's your opinion about writing negative reviews for relatively unknown authors? I'd love to know what you think. Well, I'll tell you what I'm reading currently. I got this book from my sister-in-law. I think she said her son gave her the book and then she passed it along to me. We do that when we buy books or get books as gifts. We will often pass them along to each other to read. It is called The Night of the Storm. It's a novel by Nishita Perek. Is that right? Goodness, I'm going to have to cut it fairly short because the mosquitoes are driving me crazy. So this is the author. Can you see her? It's about people in the midst of a hurricane in Florida. Amazing timing, right? So I'm, maybe not quite a third of the way in. It's pretty good. So far, it's pretty good. It's more personal relationship kind of thing. I don't know how much of it. It's a little bit of a mystery, but it's more about the personal relationships so far of the people involved. So pretty good so far. This one I do like, but I'm not through the end of it yet. Okay, the other thing that I want to tell you. This is the Basco vest, I think. I did manage to get it going again. Is that focusing? So this is the daisy stitch. Can you kind of see that? So it's working out pretty well. This is knit in pieces, in 3 pieces, so the back and then the left and right front. I have not done a garment that is seamed in a very long time. The light is getting very strange, isn't it? I have not done a seamed garment in a really long time, so hopefully this will go okay. I think the knitting part is going to be okay, but the seaming is going to challenge me. Come on, there. But yeah, like once I got this stitch going, the cat jumped up where her bowl is, and now the dog wants to get up here too. Once I got it going, it's not too bad. The secret, I will tell you for this one, because you cast on, you knit 1 row, and then you start with this stitch. The secret is to have a very loose cast on and first row. it's a good thing I ripped it out actually, because I did it much more loosely, and getting into trying to purl 3 together is much, much easier with a looser first row. So hopefully that won't mess up my gauge too much, but yeah, deliberately quite a bit looser, and it's going much, much more smoothly. We'll see. I think I need to measure it. I think 3 repeats, a 4-row repeat for the pattern, and I've done that 3 times, and you're supposed to do 2.5 inches. So I think I'm just about there. And then I think it's stockinette for a while before you start doing shaping for the armholes. So far so good. The yarn is, and I meant to talk about this, I'll have to grab the book later, and I don't have it with me. It is Barocco Vintage. Shortly after Hurricane Helene, again, mosquitoes, the hurricane hit, and we were seeing that it was getting bad around Asheville. I placed an order with Friends in Fiberworks. That is the store that is Lisa Mackey's store, and she's like the face of SAF. There's a whole board for SAF, but she is very much involved in running the event. So I placed an order with the store, and I thought, if this order takes 6 months, if I never get it, I wasn't going to be upset. But what I ordered was 3 skeins of this Barocco Vintage and a book, and the title of the book is Hope. It's got multiple sweater patterns in it. I may or may not knit one of the patterns, but the name of the book being Hope, that was the one I wanted. So I'll try to remember to show that one to you tomorrow. I didn't bring it out here. But yeah, I just got several skeins of yarn. Don't need a ton of yarn, but that's what this is. I wanted to go ahead and use it. So it's in this kind of charcoal, I don't know, is that charcoal? I've forgotten what they call it. But yeah, it's just kind of a nice gray. And the bag that it is in, I made several years ago. This fabric's out of print. It's the Ghastlies. And we have these people on the other side. Very Addams Family-esque. And it's one of those, I can't think of what it's called, but it's a particular pattern. And it's got a divider in it that's got a zippered opening. So it might be kind of hard to see on here. And the dog is jumping up there. Can you see the paws? But yeah, I've had that bag for several years, and it's great for color work because you can put stuff on either side of that little divider, and the zip divider in the middle is a great spot for notions and scissors, all that kind of stuff. Well, I think this little puppy's getting kind of anxious to go for a walk, so I'll take her for another short walk before she settles down for the evening. And I'm going to get off this porch and get away from the mosquitoes. Y'all have a good evening, and hopefully we'll chat again tomorrow. My daughter-in-law bought a bunch of apples that we're going to preserve. We're going to make applesauce. So if we do that tomorrow, I think that's the plan. I'll try to get at least, at least some pictures of making applesauce. All right, chat with you soon.